if you're listening all the time in the radio to rock and you don't like rock, you are going to change the radio station, no? Because why I have to listen to this thing that it's bothering me? When you are aware of the thoughts that you have, if this is a station that doesn't have love, just change the radio station.
This is By Joyan Season 2. I'm your host, Joyan Chan, and every Wednesday we bring you inspiring stories, powerful message, and fun conversations with me and my special guests and friends, and it's my personal mission to empower you to live and lead a life with joy. This podcast is for you if you're looking for more joy, courage, passion, and purpose in your life. Now let's dive into today's episode and get ready to laugh, learn, and live your life to the fullest. Our guest today works with groups and individuals to help them overcome their inner blocks to love and know themselves better. She specializes in helping her clients have a better relationship with themselves, which transforms their lives, allowing them to create abundance, well-being, better relationship, and become happier. She uses different techniques such as coaching, past life regression therapy, the Akashic Records, and astrology, and she's here today to empower you to improve your relationship with yourself and become happier. So guys, help me welcoming the Unconditional Love Coach, writer, speaker, and certified happiness trainer, Judith Costa. Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you having this conversation.
So, you call yourself an unconditional love coach. How do you define unconditional love, and what does it mean to love yourself or anyone unconditionally?
Yeah, the funny thing about the title is that my work is around love. But if you call yourself love coach, then people think that you fix relationships, and that's not what I do. Everything I do is based on the idea that you can love someone unconditionally, love because you want to, without a reason, without a purpose. It's love without conditions, as the name indicates. It's a decision that you make. You can love someone in spite of who the other person is or what the behavior of the other person is. And this seems like a very different concept from the one that we have and what we learn in our families when we are young, in our first relationships. We learn more than the conditional love, no? Then I love you until we get divorced, and then I don't love you anymore, and you are the enemy. And love is never wasted. Love is an energy that you can keep with you. You can keep the love and kind of let go or forgive the rest of the things that happen in a relationship. But sometimes I think that people tend to put together the idea that love and relationships are equal, but it's not. Love is an energy that it's always there for you, that it's abundant, that always will help you and support you. And a relationship is when two individuals share this love. And if they don't love themselves, then there are certain issues or challenges in the relationship. Then sometimes humans, we are not perfect. Then we make mistakes. We don't know how to love perfectly. And we hurt others, or we are like wounded in relationships, but that's not love. That's the kind of the relationship that we establish based in theory in love.
That's very interesting how you differentiate love and relationship. Before I ask the following question, how did you come into this field of doing what you do today? What is your background? What is your story?
How long is the podcast? Because I think I need a couple of episodes too. But I'll give you a brief summary that is connected with the question that you just asked me, because the reason why I transform my life and what happened in my life that make me become a coach and then do past life therapy regression and study astrology and dreams and all of this is the concept of soulmates. Soulmates, for those that don't know what this word means, it's not this idea that there is someone perfect for me that will complete me. It's more like two souls that share a bond of unconditional love for eternity. to people that if you believe in past lives, they have been together in the past or in another incarnation. They can be together in this incarnation, and for sure, they will remain connected forever in future times. And then when I discovered this concept, I found it fascinating. I'm a romantic. I don't know about you, but I thought that we have just one soulmate, no? This perfect man in my case, that is gonna be the best relationship ever. And at that moment, I was married, and I went into a quest because I had such a great connection at the beginning of the relationship with my husband to discover if he was my soulmate or not. And I discovered that no, we have a great connection at a soul level, but someone else that was a previous relationship that I had when I was 17, 18, appeared in my life through my dreams. And suddenly I discover that when you have an intense desire and a passion to really find something, the universe helps you. And I discovered the way you can really find your soulmate. Then, making it short, I got divorced, not to get married with this other person. This person was the message, but was more a messenger than the perfect relationship for me. He was already married. And I moved to New York. And I moved to New York because the universe gave me enough signs, and through synchronicities, I understood that one of my soulmates was in New York, and I finally met this person. I rent an apartment 1.5 blocks far from his apartment, and we get married, and then I started my career in New York as a coach, and I continue studying and doing other things to have more tools in my toolbox. But that's the reason why I am here. I had to discover that in my first marriage, what was failing was that I didn't love myself. And that's the reason why I teach self-love to others. And when I started working with people in my first workshop, that was how to find your soulmate, I very fast discovered that one of the most important reasons for people to block them to find true love is that they don't have a good relationship with themselves. That was like a change in my career, in my business, from the soulmates and helping people find true love to self-love, and how to really understand that love can be unconditional, not an exchange.
I love that. In fact, I was just having a conversation about love with a friend, and the fact that you moved to New York, it's like a movie scene, it's like a story of a movie, right? And to me, that's romantic. But at the time, how do you know? How can you be so sure that that person in New York is the soulmate, and you are willing to travel, and move over to be with this person?
I wasn't sure at all, but the universe insisted and insisted and insisted, because when I started getting the message that this person was in New York, I said, come on, I'm living in Barcelona. I have my own business. My life is perfectly fine. I mean, find me someone here around, like in the same countries. And then the conditions were not there, because I was doing a master in psychology and psychotherapy, and I was in the first year, and it was 2 years. Then I had to finish my studies. I had a company with my mother. I didn't have for sure the money to move to Manhattan and rent an apartment there. But suddenly everything kind of transformed, and the conditions were there. My mother and I, we decided to close the business. With the money that was remaining, I could really travel. In the embassy, they gave me the visa very easily, and it was not a student visa, it was to study, but it seemed like everything was flowing, and the universe insisted and insisted and insisted. Like this song of Alicia Keys, A State of Mind.
Okay. Yeah.
That in the middle it says, New York, New York.
Yeah, I love that song. Yes.
Me too. I get up, I put the radio in the bathroom, and the song was there. I get into my car to commute to my office, and if it's not the first, the second, the third, the fourth song, again, the same song. I enter in a shop, and the song is there. It was kind of a petition that you have to do that. And there were many other synchronicities. I don't want to make this about my story, but I really had a lot of proofs And even though it didn't make sense to abandon my life in Spain and to go there, I say, why not? Let me rent an apartment for a year and a half. I have this visa to go studying coaching, and I go to New York and let's see what happens. And if not, in 1 hour, in 1 year and a half, I'm back in my country. And I fall in love with New York. I really felt like it was home, and I wanted to remain there. And this person appeared, and things kind of manifested this way. I think that the universe wanted me to really do my career in the US. That is totally different than the market in Spain, and to learn English properly, more than business English. And for many reasons, I was sent there. I felt it was a kind of a destiny thing, not my decision. I just allow it to happen with my questions, of course, and doubts, but there is a moment where your life have to change. And if you ask me like 20 years ago and you say, oh, you know what, you are going to go to New York and you are going to become a coach, I would say, you are crazy. Not at all.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful story. And the reason why I think it's important to talk about your story is the fact that it's for people to understand, like, whatever that we're going to talk about next is there is proof, there is evidence, it's not just woo-woo, right? And the best way to explain it is through your own story, right? And now it gives you the ability to teach and help others. So you mentioned that one of the common barriers or blocks for people to find their soulmate, to find love, is they are not loving themselves. So talk to me about why is it important that we love ourselves first in order to find our soulmate or establish happy relationships?
Yeah, because you cannot share what you don't have. Then what happens in relationships when you don't love yourself is that you feel insecure. Then you try to control the love. Anything can trigger, and you try to fix the other person. You don't respect or give the other person a space to grow, because you want the things to continue the way you are, for you to become like, or to get reassurance that the other person still loves you. Then there is no room for the relationship to change, to transform, to grow. And unconditional love is to tell someone, I will be there for you no matter what. Not only I will be there for you when you do what I want you to do, or if you are the way I want you to be. And this is a mistake that we all make with children, with partners, even with friends. Then you don't have, it's not your responsibility to help change others' lives. It's your responsibility to take care of yours. Because when you love yourself, what happens in your life is that it gets totally transformed in every sense, from the capability that you have to earn money, your abundance, your health, not only your relationships, everything gets touched. Any problem that you may have, I can resolve it in terms of self-love, because at the end, when we don't put ourselves first, we pay the consequences. When we sacrifice ourselves, there is a toll to pay. When we are there for others more than we are for ourselves, things happen in our life. And even though, like in my case, that I teach this for a living, and I'm aware, and I continue making mistakes and betraying myself and extending myself so much, or being stressed and not prioritizing what is important. But sometimes people think that when you put too much attention on yourself, you become selfish. And it's just the opposite. Is when you understand that you are the source of love, that you are like a fountain, that you have more and more and more. The more you have, the more you can share. And when you share it, it comes back to you multiplied. Love is a flow. You have to give it, and it comes back to you. You cannot just give. That it's what a lot of people do. They try to please others to receive love. They want to be the perfect being in order to be accepted and to be valued. And that's not necessary. You have to be okay with yourself. You just have to treat yourself like you treat those you love. And that's what it means to have a good relationship with yourself. It's not really complicated. It may require some effort, but it's quite simple in essence.
And And some people might argue that like you said, when you put too much attention on yourself, on loving yourself, you always put yourself first, then it means selfish, right? And okay, let's talk about in terms of being in a relationship. What if I love myself more than I love my partner? Is that healthy? And because my partner might argue that, you don't love me, you only love yourself, but yeah.
Yeah. No, let me explain you. For me, a relationship is when two mature individuals that love themselves already share the love that they already have. Then usually we tend to attract like opposites, no? One person is the victim and the other one is the one that saves. One person is the one that has the fear of abandonment and the other person is the one that triggers, no? We establish relationships because it's the way we learn how to love and how to be loved. Then it's normal what you mentioned, no? Someone that will say, oh, you don't want me enough, but let me make it personal. My two husbands, that they have the same sign and ascendant, the rising in astrology, they're very similar, even though they are totally different people, of course, but they love themselves a lot.
Okay.
They have a very clear idea what self-love is. And what I did in the relationship in both was to abandon myself. Because someone has to win, someone has to like kind of have the power in the relationship. Then they fall in love with a woman that is assertive, that has clarity, that knows what she wants, that is strong. And they end with a woman that in order to be in the relationship, abandon herself, give her power away, don't stand up for what she believes in. And why we do that? We do this we do it in order to maintain the relationship alive. Because we think that if we really express our needs and desires and say no and learn how to set up boundaries, the relationship is going to end. And it may probably end, but maybe that was the purpose of the relationship. Because from a soul level, sometimes relationships are not made to last forever. Like two partners can be there and feel such a strong connection and grow together and continue together for years. And others, they have to just have this encounter, resolve some issues, and then continue in different ways. The soul path, the soul agenda that we may have may not be the same as a contract called marriage in human terms. But for sure, every relationship in your life is important. You never waste your time in relationships because every relationship will prepare you, hopefully, to be a better partner in the next one.
Yeah.
Then people may say that, oh, you found the wrong man to marry. No, I found the perfect man to marry because I needed to learn how to love myself. And they were not there to put it easy for me. I really have to find who I am and what is the way I want to live my life. For a lot of people, this is difficult to understand because they may see things more like level, like normal level. The same that people understand that I have a good relationship with both my ex-husband. They say, but you got divorced. They say, but I didn't got divorced because I don't love them. It's because in the day-to-day, the relationship didn't work. Then it's not love. What's missing is that you have to be together to grow the relationship. Then coming back to the beginning of the conversation, true love is the love that says, I respect who you are. I hope that we can go together and continue our paths. And if not, you are free to be yourself, with me or without me. Then when you have this sensation that you will be never alone because you are always in your own company, you love yourself, you can really have less attachment to the relationship and have more clarity of if what you are establishing with another person is a relationship full of love or it's just lust or need or attachment.
Yeah. I guess it will be so much easier if we know who our soulmate is, and and I think based on, because you mentioned something earlier which is fascinating, is about, we only have one soulmate, and from past life and the next life and this life. But for people who don't believe in that, or they are new to this concept, why do you believe so? What are some of the evidence that you can share, or maybe stories?
Yeah, yeah. I have been in many marriages of my clients. And is it possible to find your soulmate and you don't have to move to another country? That was my case. But when soulmates kind of see themselves, sometimes there's a sensation of I know you. Like I have not been introduced to you. I don't know your name, but I have a sensation that you are familiar to me. You are like, with you, I'm home. This is like a soul recognition. It doesn't happen at the level of the conscious, like you don't say, oh, it's attractive or I like this person. It's more like a sensation that you don't know each other, but your heart is happy to see the other person. And this might be like looking at someone at the other corner of a room in a party, and suddenly there is a connection. Sometimes one finds out this connection before the other person, but it is sense of something is happening here that I feel I can be myself with you. I can open up. Usually relationships are faster at this level. It's not that having your soulmate at your side gives you the perfect relationship or marriage. That's not warranted. You still have to be a good partner and you have to evolve together. Again, it requires some attention and devotion, but it's a relationship that may go faster because a soulmate is someone that has the key of your heart and can open and sit in your sofa waiting for you. Like, here I am. And it has like no restrictions. It goes directly to your heart. It's like the doors are open. For whatever reason, the connection was previously established and you may recognize it or not, but something it's facilitated. I don't know if I'm explaining myself clearly. Then it should be a person that takes out the best in you, or that challenges you, or that even triggers you to become a better version of yourself. It doesn't have to be like a calm, peaceful, wonderful relationship. There can be turmoil, but you will be there because the connection is so important for you that this person can make you or help you transform your life. In other cases, if someone does the same, you will say, okay, goodbye. I don't want to be your friend, or I don't want to be your partner anymore. I'm leaving. But with your soulmate, you will stay, because one of the things that soulmates do for each other is to help the other person to grow, like grow in consciousness, to really evolve.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't met my soulmate, but I know exactly everything that you talk about.
Have you asked for your soulmate? Because if you don't ask, you don't receive.
Really? Okay. Okay, how do we ask?
Yeah, there are 3 steps in order to manifest anything, but especially now a soulmate. No, first, you have to define the kind of relationship you want. For a lot of people, soulmate, it's very like complicated. They feel like it's like 1 in a billion. Then just change for the right partner for me now. Okay. Then to find this perfect person for you now, you have to think, what is the kind of relationship that you want to establish? Do you want a friend? Do you want a lover? Do you want both? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to live together? Do you want to get married? Or no, it's not important for you? How are you going to feel with this person when this person enters in your life? Not only define the what in terms of, oh, it's going to be physically attractive or rich, but certain characteristics that are important for you from the other person have to be clear. And also you have to think, what are you bringing to the table? It's not about give me this, universe, is I want to be in this relationship because I have so much love to offer. Or I want to like have a house with someone and have a family. Or what are the reasons why you want this partner in your life? That's very important that you define this. Second step is to believe, because you cannot receive anything that you don't believe that it's yours. And here we enter in one of the key elements, problematic elements, because sometimes we don't believe that we can be loved. And this is the connection with self-love. If I cannot love myself, how do I believe that others can love me? Like, I'm asking someone else to do what I'm not able to do for me. Doesn't make sense, no? Then that's the reason why we have to establish a better relationship with ourselves. That means to appreciate ourselves. What do you think about yourself? How do you treat yourself? Are you kind with yourself? Are you compassionate? Do you invest in your own happiness? Because all of these things are important for the relationship that you are going to establish with this perfect partner for you. Then believing that you deserve to be loved is one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself. But the step number 3 maybe is a little bit more challenging, because it's accepting that this person is already coming your way. You have to live as if this soulmate is already in your life. Then if you have never asked, if you don't even think that this can happen to you, if you don't believe that you deserve it, and if you never connect with the idea, like even if it's dreaming awake, if you don't take the time to make your list of desires, if you don't visualize, if you don't feel like the intense desire, it's really difficult to manifest anything. You can be open to receive, but the universe has to see that you're putting a little bit of intention. You have to do the first step, and then, universe, do you see I'm doing my part? Then can you please help me?
Right.
Then the universe say, okay, Joyan is serious. I'm going to start looking for this perfect partner and to put them together.
Right.
And the encounter is going to happen within a divine timing. Like how and when will be determined by the universe, but you have to define what do you want. The universe cannot tell you, oh, this is going to be the perfect partner. No, you have to look inside yourself and find exactly with some room. It doesn't have to be like a list of 3 pages, of course, because then it's going to be too complicated. But this feeling of what do you want in a relationship, all of us, we can do that. We have seen a lot of people say, I have never been loved this way. And I say, but you have seen movies, you have friends, you meet people, then you can read books, like romantic ideas. Doesn't have to be like, oh, because I haven't experienced this and it's difficult to imagine. No, it's the opposite. You have to imagine to make it real.
Yeah.
Living as if is that you are not unhappy because you are single. You're perfectly happy with your life. You appreciate what you have. You are grateful. And because you are in this state of love for yourself and love for everything that exists, then you attract, you manifest in your life, but not you making an effort. It's like it happens like if you are a magnet, you become a magnet for love. Then we try to fix the outside. If I am more beautiful, if I have more money, if I have a better car, if I have more like whatever, then I will be more attractive. And it's the opposite. What is attractive in a man or a woman, what is sexy, is to be authentically you. Just to be happy with who you are. People feel good around others when they love themselves. Because it's easy. They don't ask anything for you. They understand happiness because happiness and self-love are connected. And it's kind of easier.
So what are some of the ways that someone can start this journey towards self-love? Let's say if they are unhappy right now, that are struggling with love or self-love, what are some of the ways they can start to love themselves?
Yeah, let's go to the practical. The first thing for me that I'm very analytical and I tend to attract clients that also overthink.
Okay.
See what is inside of your mind. What are the thoughts? What is the opinion that you really have for yourself, about yourself, sorry. And what are the thoughts? Because without even knowing that we do it, we are very hard on ourselves. Then you have to transform the language that you have for yourself and add more kindness. Add more compassion, add more understanding. You cannot change your life unless you do it with love. And we used to think in general in society that to change ourselves, we have to control ourselves. We have to punish ourselves. We have to be hard. Because if not, we are going to be lazy and not change. But let me tell you that the most important energy in the world, the energy that really can transform, is love. People only change because of love. If there is no love sustaining, like losing weight or being healthier or saving money or whatever you want to accomplish in your life, there is no reason why. There is no motivation. It doesn't last, the energy. Then learn how to appreciate yourself instead of criticizing yourself. For every negative thought that you have about yourself, build another thought, a better one. It's like if you're listening all the time in the radio to rock and you don't like rock, you are going to change the radio station, no? Because why I have to listen to this thing that it's bothering me? Then when you are aware of the thoughts that you have, if this is a station that doesn't have love, just change the radio station. And treat yourself the same way you will treat those you love. You're not gonna tell your friend like you're stupid, you just fail. You are not gonna be capable of doing that. You are gonna do the opposite. You're gonna empower your friend and say, don't worry, you can do this. I'm with you. I trust you can. I believe in you. Then we have to be the fan number one, our own cheerleader. The one that is there to say, even if you believe that you have made a mistake, there is a second chance. There is always room for improvement. No matter what had happened in your life, the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is number two. One is see what is in your mind, change your thoughts, take your mind to the gym. Number two, forgiveness. Sometimes we get stuck in a moment in time because we don't believe that we can forgive ourselves for some mistakes. Our life turned into a direction that we don't like, or we cannot forgive others. We become a victim of the circumstances or something that happened to us. The power of forgiveness is so powerful to transform your life. And it's an act of self-love, because forgiveness is not just to be a good person to forgive someone or yourself. Forgiveness is saying, because I love myself, I'm going to disconnect from these events or this relationship or this that happened to me to be able to start fresh and to move forward with my life. Forgiveness is like this permission that we do to say, okay, I'm letting it go. It's part of my story. It belongs to the past, but not to the present or the future.
Okay, maybe we can verbally say that I forgive myself, or we can write, journal. I think I did that exercise before. I wrote myself a letter, I forgive myself for all the mistakes I've done in the past. And I mean, we can do that on the surface level, like you said, but how do we make it into our subconscious mind so that the changes, the transformations, they are permanent?
I'm going to give you two different answers to your question. Because first, if it's superficial, keep repeating it. Because yes, sometimes we say things, but we don't feel them. Then the most important is that you enter in a state of being where you put yourself first. You choose your own happiness. And that's the reason why you can let go what other people did to you or what you did to yourself, because you deserve your own love, because there is nothing that is unforgivable. Then you have to change the belief. If you say, oh, that's too big to be forgiven, the only thing that you can do is to convince yourself of the opposite. Because forgiveness, people think that it's a matter of time, that someone has to give me an apology when things change, maybe in the future. No, forgiveness happens when you consciously choose to move forward with your life. Then it's not about the event. It's not about the person. It's not about what happened. It's about you. Then do you see the difference between like this idea of forgiveness, like, yeah, I forgive myself and I continue, than to be like totally committed with yourself to say, I have been suffering so much for this that happened to me, but from today on, I'm not going to suffer anymore for this. That's the reason why I let it go. That's the reason why I forgive it. Not because it didn't happen, not because I'm a good person, not because the other person needs to be forgiven. We don't care about the other 50%. The other person or the events that happen, we cannot change that because it's the past. But we can change our present. And then for those, second part of the answer, for those that believe that are spiritual and believe in other higher power, whatever name you want, I work with the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is like a field of information where everything about you is recorded. But when I work with clients using this tool, if you want, we have a wonderful prayer that I can share with you if you want.
Sure.
But then the idea is that when you say these words, you are asking these beings, these emissaries of the divine, these pure unconditional love beings that are there, to help you. Then when you are ready to release something, it's like if you can just give it to them and they recycle the energy. It's two ways of explaining the same. For some people, it's about I do it. And for other people, it's about I give it to the spirit or the divine, and then they take it from me. They release it. But in any case, your intention, your commitment to let it go is necessary.
Okay.
Because no being, no helper, no angels, archangels, or whoever it is, can act if you don't ask. You have to ask for, please help me. I want to release this. I don't want to continue being stuck here or suffering about this or connected to this person anymore. Help me with this. And then they can act because they respect your free will. And in any case, they can bring things to you or help you manifest your soulmate or help you with the forgiveness if you don't allow it. Let me share it with you.
Okay.
It's very complete. You will see. I'm sure you will like it. It has to be read with intention, but I'll send it to you after the podcast. Don't worry. If there is anyone or anything that has hurt me in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt anyone or anything in the past, consciously or unconsciously, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt myself in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. That's it. Then it covers everything, just in case you hurt someone that hurts you, and if you have hurt yourself.
Right. I love that. Yeah, I really love that. And please send it to me. So
Yes.
I have done my Akashic Records before, and so okay, for people who are new to this concept, please, explain what is it about. I know you kind of explained it, but for people who really like no idea what we're talking about, just give them maybe a one sentence answer to explain that. But how can someone, let's say I went for a reading only because I was stuck. I felt like I was sabotaging myself, my success in business, in life, everywhere. Because that is the only time I feel like that I know I need help, from higher power, from other people. So how can someone identify if they are subconsciously or unconsciously or even consciously sabotaging themselves, whether it's manifesting love, soulmate, business, success, money, how can we identify?
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the question. The word is a little bit difficult to pronounce, the Akashic Records, but what it means is it's like a super big storage, energetic field of information. Similar that when you have your photos in the cloud, but you can see them in your phone, then everything about your life is recorded. Every experience, every feeling. This recording, this podcast, is now in the Akashic Records, but from your perspective, with your feelings, your ideas, your thoughts about it, and from my perspective, then sometimes we talk about the Akashic Records like a book of the soul, because it contains the journey of the soul from its inception this present incarnation and the future. But it's not a book. It's more, it has a video. It contains exactly everything that is happening in real time. And the fun thing about this is that we have access to this field of information. I teach people how they can learn to do this. There are different levels of classes, but everyone can really tap into this field of information and download, like your photos, no? Download the information. And for people that they don't know how to do this because they are not trained yet, I can do a reading or a consultation, as you said. Then the interesting thing about working with this field of energy is that the session is totally based on your questions, on what you need help, guidance, support, where you feel stuck, why you feel stuck. And you can receive all the information that you need. You can ask any concrete question or open-ended question or topic, and we will work exactly on what you need. You can ask any question you want. Any question about any topic, everything that you always wanted to ask and you didn't know who, but it's holding me back on finding my soulmate. Why I didn't find my soulmate yet? What do I have to do? Give me an action plan specifically for me, not general things, to find my soulmate. What should I be like doing day by day? Help me release anything that is holding me back. Because the fun thing is that we don't only receive information, is that we can resolve things. We can do forgiveness work, as we have seen, but we can let go of patterns of thought or behavior. We can release external influences that we take from others or others project, something at an emotional level that we carry from our ancestors, ego positions. We can do many different things that I think that it's important for someone that approaches the Akashic Records. I mean, to know why this happened, or if I know this person from a past life, or where is my future partner. All of this is important, but more important is to resolve and to have specific information about what is the next best step for me to achieve this in my life. No.
Imagine you get answers for everything, every questions that you ever have, right? I mean, that's amazing, and that's why I did it. Yeah, I know how powerful a session can be, so I'm encouraging my listeners to take a session with you. So tell people how they work with you. What do you offer? Like, you do coaching as well, you do past life regression, so you also train people to read Akashic Records. So what do you do actually? Like,
yeah, I do one-on-one consultations of the Akashic Records and private sessions of coaching, of course, and past life regression. The most important work can be combined, I will say. Some people start with coaching and from time to time they do an Akashic Records consultation because it's a different kind of information. It's very good as a first session for a coaching process, for example. And some people do a workshop and then they realize that they need help to implement what they have learned. And then they start a process of coaching. Then I don't think it's the tool. It's more that if you really like the way we can work together, because I think there is an alliance between a therapist or a coach and the person, then the important is that we are in sync and really we feel that we can work together. And of course, I have my credentials, but I think that the energy between two people is powerful, and the love connection that we may have to help you move to the next step in your life, whatever the goal is, finding your soulmate or loving yourself more or finding a job. It doesn't matter. As a coach, I can take you by the hand and go with you.
yeah. So is there anything else that you really want to share or talk about? Perhaps I didn't ask you, didn't let you today.
Yeah, I will say that don't take life so seriously and appreciate it more. Because I think I'm guilty for many years in my life. I wanted to be, I mean, I know that perfection doesn't exist, but I wanted to be perfect. I wanted the things to be the way I wanted. And I invested a lot of energy in controlling my life and being sure that everything, and this is impossible. And I learned through the years that it's much easier when you can flow with life, when you can surrender, when you understand that you are here to enjoy your life. You are here to be happy. As simple as this is your purpose, to love a little bit more yourself and everything that exists. Because at the end, we are all one. But to discover this, you have to like kind of go through different phases in your life. And I invite you to start in whatever way you want. What can you do today to make your life better? Not tomorrow, just today. What little baby step, something that is important for you, that gives you pleasure or that puts you first, or even if it's to take 3 deep breaths, to stop for a moment and relax, to do a body scan and see what is the tension and if you can let it go. To just pause and look around. This life is precious and we are here to enjoy it. And sometimes we go so fast that we forget to enjoy. We're just doing. Then stop the busyness for a moment and take a look around yourself. Tonight, look at the stars. Or tomorrow, look at the sunset or the moment where the sun rises. Look at the beach, look at the tree, the flower, wherever. Connect with yourself, connect with everything that is around you.
Yeah, I really love the message, especially when it comes to, because this podcast is all about finding joy and, and I believe personally, you can never be happy if you're trying to control life, control everything around you. So yeah, you can never be happy. So thank you so much for sharing and thank you so much for coming. Now tell my people where they can find you, where is the best place for them to connect with you.
The easy way is to go to my website. At the bottom in the footer, you can subscribe. And also you have all the links to all different social media. I'm everywhere, all the different outlets. And there you have also a contact form and all the information about the private sessions, the workshops, the retreats, and everything. And I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email and you will find all the details in the contact form as well. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this and you for providing this opportunity for our conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm sure they love it. And so, yeah, guys, I hope you love today's episode. Go follow Judith. What's your website? Tell us what is your biggest takeaway from this episode. I will put all the links in the show note below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast so you never miss another episode coming to you every Wednesday. And I will always leave you the same way as I leave you with every other episode. Show up. The world needs you and you need you. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all a joyful and amazing day ahead. Thank you again for tuning into Find Joy Joyan podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, take a screenshot and share it on your IG story and tag findjoyjoyan_podcast so I know you are listening. And leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already done so. And remember to hit the subscribe button whether you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, or any of your other favorite platforms. If you love what we are doing and want to become one of our sponsors, you can send me a DM to connect. And thanks for being here. I will see you soon in the next episode.